All right, hello, this is David. I'm going to do my final presentation for the project. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. All right, so the first thing I will share is the difference between enum array and array list. So enum is a fixed list you created when doing the programming. So everything you put there will stay there and will remain. Like you can't change what's on the list. While using array or array list, you can change what is stored in every position. The difference between array and array list is that the array list is a dynamic, so can change whenever you need. And the array list is a list of fixed items, for example, 16, 20, 100. So you can change the length of the array, but you can change what is stored on each of the positions on the array. So the first thing I want to share is a class I created for one of the examples individuals. This class is Lehigh. Sorry. This class name is actors. So will contain a minus 600. Nephi will contain a minus 560. That is the year where they live. So when I'm running or when I'm using these enum actors, I will refer this. Let me show one example. Have so many things open that I forgot what it was. Game control. Where is game control? Okay, so on this game control, I'm creating an array object type inventory item. Okay, I'm calling this list, this array items. So I'm doing a new, again, the object type, the object I'm creating, which is an inventory item. My inventory item will contain all these different kind of data. So jumping back to the game, so I'm creating this list of 16 length, meaning the first position is 0, the last position is 15. So, for example, I'm creating one item type name axe, okay? Then I'm setting these two values inside, then I'm passing over my list, which is called items, into the position item type axe and the ordinal. So to know what's that number, I need to go over my item type and go to the axis. So it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my position 10 will contain, okay, the information I just passed, like I just set up over there, okay? So this is how you put items over an array. Let's say that if you call the same items and you pass something else, whatever is inside will be replaced by the new value, okay? So to reference, for example, remember my example about the actors. So if I'm calling the actor, then I will say, let's say this is actors dot Lehigh. What I will get as a response. Oh, all right. Probably I need to import my actors. Okay, but if I do that, what I will get is minus 600. That is the number I associated with that value. Okay, that's how you work with the enums and how you work with arrays. Array list, I don't have any example, but I know Rafael created one for his individual assignment. I prefer array because I like to have control of what is inside, but I know that sometimes you don't know how many items we will contain. So let's say how many, I don't know, tools you have in your home. You started with 20, but at the end of your life, you can have 100. So for that kind of situation, you will need probably an array list because it's no reason to create a an array of 1,000, you will be able to put a lot of information. But what if you get 1,001? You can't add them. So for dynamic lists, you need to use an array. Okay. So that was more or less about the first part. So let me show some examples about try and catch. So I have an inventory. Where is it? Inventory report. It is on my help. All right, so in my help, I have an inventory report. I have created an array of 2 dimensions of 16 and 2. Then I create a new array which will contain, this is another way to create an array. You will just specify the information that is inside. This case, for example, is 10 different strings that are related to the status of the food. So what I will do later is, for example, I will ask how many items you have, and will store on the first position of this array of 2 dimensions that will contain integers. Then on the position number 2, I will save the number that will be related to the status of the food. So what I will do later is I will use a variable that I created right over here, an integer. So I will store in that variable whatever is on the position 2, which was the position for the status of the food. Then I will go to the status, which is my array of food status. Then I will get what is information related to the status of the food. Then I will use it as I want. In this case, I'm just putting that information over a string to pass it to a file. Okay, so that is the way I'm running. I'm using this array. It's actually 2 different arrays with different information. So I'm passing one information over the other one. So the next item is the try and catch. So I wanna use the example over here. In this case, I'm asking where do you want to save this? So if you want to save print on the screen or to save over a file. So I'm doing a try and catch. Why? Because you can only accept 1 or accept 2, but the user can enter any kind of data. So if they enter a letter, you will jump over here and saying, all right, this is an error. We'll specify what is the class name, and then invalid error, please try again. So in case they enter a number, which will be okay because we'll pass over here, it will check if the number is not 1 or it's not a number 2. Then we'll give you that error. Sorry, I said it wrong. If the number is 1 or if the number is 2, mean this is fine. But if it is anything else than number than that, then we'll throw a number format exception error. We will say, all right, this is wrong. You need to type a number which is between 1 and 2 again. Okay? Sorry, the error is going to be that, but the message up here on top was what do you want to do? One screen, 2 file. Okay, so that's how we capture errors. For different kind of error, you will need to specify different catch try. For example, this one is the one I will explain now, which is how to use a file where to save information. So on this one, I will store on this string the line. Okay, I'm not going to store everything. I will just do it line by line. So once, okay, so I create the string here with this name, saying, okay, tell me what is your file path. Okay, once you have the file path, I'm starting the object file writer name out file. I'll start it with a null so I don't get any error. Then if this is fine, then I'm creating a new file writer instance over that path. And then over here, I'm writing every single string I created. But from here to here, I will just collect data, okay? So every time I reach the end, then I will pass it the line to be written on the file. Once I'm done with this, I will flash, so anything that is left will be to the file. Then I'm doing a try, okay, to check the data I'm saving. And then I'm doing a close. If I'm getting an error, I will catch the exception and throw it on the screen. Error closing the file. Okay, this is how I'm using the try and catch on file stream. Okay, so there was one question saying what is the main difference between the what was exactly the character stream or the can't find it. Come on, what is it? Okay, so character stream versus byte stream. Byte stream means the ASCII table. So any character that is not on the ASCII table will be rejected. So that's why Java did an implementation and launched a more full worldwide open way to do stream, to read and write, which is the character stream. So that is the main difference between one and the other one. The other one is using 16 bytes. The byte stream is using 8, so will allow more data or more complex data to be read using the character stream. Okay. So there are different way that will apply to one or the other. Okay. I don't want to pass on my time, so I'm going to jump quickly over the next item, which is the game presentation. I'll have very few minutes, so I will do it as quick as possible. Okay, probably I touched something there on the game. I see it. Okay, so at the beginning, we'll ask the name. I will create a new game. I get the report. All this information that appears here is because I created a game and said on my constructor by default to establish this information, okay? And that's actually the information I'm seeing over here, okay? So when I'm creating a new game, I create a new instance of the game. I'm passing over the next view that will use that game. So all the information will be related to that game. So I'm going to say very quickly, view the map. I'm going to move into a new location 4 and R. R is not a column, so I need to say a right column, which is 3, so I can see it over here. So I'm going to save now. Oh, I keep pressing escape, sorry. David.txt. All right, so now I want to reload the game, david.txt. I'm going to view the game, then I see that everything that was there was loaded. So I'm going to manage crops now. I'm going to sell land. I will sell 100. Okay, so you have successfully sold 100 acres. I want to return. I want to save my game. We'll put a new name. Say.txt. I don't know why I type say. Oh, I typed something else. So sorry. I'm going to reload now. So we'll say L. Type that name. So if you see here, the information was decreased. So basically what we are doing is when we create the instance, we are passing the game. So for example, the main menu view is the one you said start new game or load new game. So when you start new game, you go start new game. So this instance is creating the player and the game and passing the game over like to get a report. So we'll get the values from the game and we'll display the report, then we'll display the game main menu, which is this one. So when you load the game, for example, it's kind of similar, but we'll jump over read the file first. So we'll create a name null, then on this game will load from the file all the information, will catch if you have any errors when reading the file, and then it will pass this same game over the set current game. So City of Aaron will contain this game on the memory and will pass it over the next one. Okay, so this is more or less how the, the program works. I know we don't have all the time we wanted to finish all the items, but I know we could do it. Rafael has been a great help, so we were able to learn a lot from each other and split the work. So we are glad for that. Hope this presentation was understandable because of my Spanglish. Okay, so thank you very much for your time and thank you for everything. Okay, bye.